The trading session here, we were up for the last hour or so, about a 40-point gain on the Dow, but we're starting to lose some altitude there. Art Cash is telling us that we are getting a little bit of a bias to the downside, but not by a whole lot. It's going to be like that this week because of the holidays and maybe the weather, but the Dow is up still 15 points with the NASDAQ above 4,000 here. Joining us, Paul Schatz from the Heritage Capital and Bob Kelfon from MQS Management. Good to see you both. Thanks for joining us today. I said earlier, we had some guests on, everybody was bullish, and which makes me nervous. You guys like this market as well. Doesn't that make you nervous to have all this bullishness in the market right now?
Listen, sentiment is at rally ending levels. It's not a bull market ending levels, but sentiment, if it wasn't the middle, end of November, I think you'd have a much bigger problem in the markets. But it's really tough to see any kind of significant peak this late into the year, especially to have the market really roll over hard right now. That's why everyone's bullish, because of history. But sentiment is really worrisome here.
So are you taking some profits here?
So I'll be like everybody else, that nervous, cautious bull. I will take profits as we get later into December for sure, but not right here.
What do you do?
Yeah, I think it is time to be nervous, although I think you know, the upside is probably where things go. But with the monetary policy the way it is, it's very easy for all this risk on that we've seen lately to very easily come back off, and then you know, things that get skittish in a hurry.
But I mean, having said that, as long as the Fed is still pumping $85 billion a month into this market, is there any reason to really sell stocks in a big way here?
But let's not forget, the markets peaked prior to QE1 ending, the markets peaked prior to QE2 ending, and when Twist was after the initial bump of Twist, the markets peaked. So the market should peak before the taper begins.
Well, when is that? That's the big question. So we had deadlines on the other two, right? We knew when they were going to end. We have no clue when this is going to end.
Well, it's not true. We do have the Fed is they're floating the trial balloons now.
I'm listening, Paul. Tell me what date that is.
The Fed's going to taper in the first quarter. I 100% don't agree with it. I think tapering will be the single biggest mistake to the economy and the markets of the last 5 years.
Okay.
I disagree on both counts. I think that they're going to not taper in the first quarter. I think it'll go on longer than people expect.
Do you think it's possible that Janet Yellen could even add to the $85 billion?
It's possible. But I think she'll have other things in her toolbox to keep monetary policy easy, not necessarily adding on to bonds. I think the market would get too upset with that. But I think there are other things that they're going to look on. They really want to have rates perceived to be low for a while, but it's possible they might take away the interest on reserves, which would add a lot of money to the markets and the economy.
All right, well, I feel a little better. I got a couple of nervous bulls at least here that we've got talking to. Thank you both for joining us.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And to you, thank you. We'll take a break, come back with the closing countdown for this Tuesday, and then we're just moments away from Hewlett-Packard's fiscal fourth quarter earnings. We'll have instant